Balintang, TGP Balagtas, Cantos Pharmacy, Joan Pharmacy, JKC Pharmacy sa Santa Rita, TGP Bolbok Batangas, Cosmas and Damian, Taylor's Pharmacy at MedRx Pharmacy. Kung kayo po ay magagawi dyan sa may bahagi po ng San Pascual, mga kasangga, meron po sa Jen's Pharmacy, San Pascual, MedAid Pharmacy, Santa Catalina Pharmacy, KML Pharmacy, TGP 7-Eleven, Felicity Drugstore, Almar Drug, Beluas Pharmacy, at TGP Caltex. Sa Bawan, mga kasangga, ang mga produkto po ng Jmar Marketing ay available sa TGP Punso, Almar Drug, Diaz Drug House, Corinthian Drug, Ruben and Ami Store, Farmacia 20, Viv Drugstore, Lorraine Joy Abubot, John Jai Butika, TGP Orosa, Save Drug, GM Cube Pharmacy, Manelanes Pharmacy, 4 Angel Pharmacy, Bestmed Pharmacy at sa A&J Pharmacy. Kung kayo po ay magagawi dyan sa may bahagi po ng Kalatagan, sa TDP Care Pharmacy, Lihano Pharmacy at DLR Pharmacy. Sa bahagi po ng San Jose, sa tindahan ni Imo, Aren and Abby Pharmacy, Najane Pharmacy, Lucky Charm Pharmacy, Radals Pharmacy, Padlar Pharmacy, Fort Watcher Pharmacy at sa Restore Pharmacy. Sa Cuenca, mga kasangga, sa Pantas Pharmacy, TGC Pharmacy, Cuevas Drugstore, Celine Pharmacy, MDK Pharmacy, Rhinas Pharmacy, Irene Pharmacy Alitatag, Mean Drugstore, TO Pharmacy, Christine Pharmacy, JMJ Pharmacy, Pat Bill Pharmacy, MCM Pharmacy, Santa Teresita Pharmacy, TGP Tawilisan, and sa Rowed Drugstore at sa Farmingdale Drugstore. Sa bahagi po ng Taal, mga kasangga, sa Francia Pharmacy at TGP Taal, San Luis, sa Butika Tonet and A&P Pharmacy, Mabini. Sa Lucky 17 Pharmacy, Kevin Pharmacy, TGP Mabini, Jen's Pharmacy, sa Penpan Drugstore at sa Josephine 888.
Kasangga, kasangga at kalusugan. Kasangga, kasangga at kalusugan. Ako ay tutula mahabang-mahaba tungkol sa chocolate drink na malinamnam na abay sobrang sustansya pa. Tikman ang Mark Choco 9-in-1+1 chocolate drink mix with stevia. Meron itong taurine, probiotics, omega-3 DHA at chlorella. Kasama din ng herbal extract na gotu cola, acai berry, cocoa at spirulina. May natural na pampatamis ito ay ang stevia. Kaya naman talagang masustansya. Ang herbal extracts ay mahusay na nakatutulong upang palakasin ang immune system ng ating katawan. Mark Choco 9-in-1+1 chocolate drink mix with stevia. Available at leading grocery, drugstore and sari-sari store. Mark Choco 9-in-1+1 chocolate drink mix with stevia. Chocolinamnam, healthy sa katawan.
Mark Choco makes my only chocolate drink. Chocolinamnam, healthy sa katawan. Ang aking Mark Choco mix 9-in-1+1. Tikman ang sarap na hinahanap-hanap. Mark Choco makes my only chocolate drink. Chocolinamam, healthy sa katawan.
Mark Choco, Chocolinamnam, healthy sa katawan.
Kasangga, kasangga at kalusugan.
And bago tayo magpaalam, kasanggang Sai, meron pa tayong sorpresa sa mga kasangga natin. Talaga nga namang ang ating sorpresa ay tuloy-tuloy at walang patid. Yan naman ang importante doon, kasanggang Sai. Talagang ito po ay bilang pasasalamat po namin sa mga tagapagtangkilik po ng mga produkto po ng Jmar Marketing, lalo't higit itong ating Mark Choco, kasanggang Sai. Meron tayong bagong promo. Ano nga bang title ng ating bagong promo nito?
Mark Choco Kompleto Word Hunt Radio Program.
Yon, ayan. Ito po ay mapapakinggan nyo po dito sa programang Kasangga at Kalusugan. Ulitin lang natin, Mark Choco Kompleto Word Hunt Radio Promo sa inyo po mga paboritong himpilan at syempre dito po sa programang Kasangga at Kalusugan. So abangan po ang ating question at ito muna yung mechanics muna natin Kasanggang Sai. So isa itong Guess the Word Trivia Challenge para sa mga kasangga po natin. Ito pong promong pong ito meron po tayong pahuhulaan na word Kasanggang Sai. Kaya nga Mark Choco Kompleto Word Hunt Radio Promo. Kailangan natin kumpletuhin yung pinahuhulaan nating word. Halimbawa, ano bang example ng halimbawa, pinahulaan natin si Jmar. Diba? So magbibigay tayo ng clue at magbibigay tayo ng mga bagay na maaring may kaugnayan sa mga produkto ng Jmar Marketing o di kaya naman ay mga ingredients ng ating Mark Choco. Yan, ibibigay po ito ng mga DJs or ng Anchor at yung first 3 or 4 letter clue ay ibibigay po yan sa inyo. Ano po, and syempre, kasunod po niyan yung short trivia, no? Ang una pong makakahula mga kasangga ng tamang sagot ay siya pong mananalo. Ang promo pong ito open po sa lahat ng mga listeners po ng radio station at syempre listeners po ng Kasangga at Kalusugan. Po. So abangan po ang pa-contest na ito every Friday. Kasanggang say magbibigay tayo ng question, and every Monday i-announce natin kung sino yung winner. So abangan po yan, at yan, ang maaari pong manalo mga kasangga makakatanggap po ng isang inner box ng Mark Choco. Yay! Ayan, and of course kung alam mo po yung hinahanap po naming salita, ayan, pwede pong i-text yan sa aming text line, kasanggang say.
Yes, 0918-773-0418 at 0947-645-3153. At dun pala sa ating mga kasanggaan, kung kayo po talaga ay kumukonsumo ng aming po mga produkto, maaari nyo pong makita yung numero na yan dun po sa ating mga kahon.
Yan, sa box po ng Mark Choco at ng Mark Cafe at ng mga flyers ng ating ng mga produktong binabanggit dito sa ating programang Kasangga at Kalusugan. Po mga kasangga. So maraming salamat mga kasangga, inyo pong nakasama ang inyong mga lingkod.
Kasanggang Zairine Veloria, maraming salamat po at ingat tayo mga kasangga.
Sa ngalan po ni Kasanggang Angie Marcamonias, ako naman si Kasanggang Ace Villapando. Maraming salamat, pagpalain po tayo ng poong may kapal.
Kasangga, Kasangga at Kalusugan. Kasangga, Kasangga at Kalusugan.
Inyong narinig ang programang Kasangga at Kalusugan. Ito ay isang alternative health program para ipaalam ang kagandahan ng produktong herbal at unawain ang mga benepisyo nito sa ating kalusugan. May mga impormasyon at practical tips na makakatulong sa araw-araw na pamumuhay ng ating mga kasangga. Kasangga at Kalusugan, tungo sa isang malusog at responsableng mamamayan. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay.
Bawat musika dulot ay saya, pang pamilya at buong barkada. Cool na cool, cool na cool talaga. Sa balitang hatid, lahat nakikinig, nangunguna sa buong probinsya. Cool na cool, cool na cool talaga. Cool Radio, Cool Radio, Cool Radio, Cool Radio, Cool Radio. Bawat bata may tanong, ba't ganito, ba't ganon?
Sa pagtutulungan ng DWE-FM, Cool Radio, Cool Wave Broadcast Incorporated at ng Department of Education, Camarines Norte, mapapakinggan sa impilang ito ang Paaralan sa Radyo.
Paaralan sa Radyo, isang pamamaraan upang matiyak ang kaligtasan ng mga mag-aaral laban sa COVID-19 na laganap ngayon sa buong mundo.
Paaralan sa Radyo.
Paaralan sa Radyo.
Paaralan sa Radyo, mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 2 hanggang alas 4 ng hapon.
Dito sa impilang nagpapahalaga sa edukasyon at mga kabataan.
100.5 DWE-FM, Cool Radio.
Makakamtan sa daigdig ng agham, tuklasin ang kalaman.
Ang Paaralan sa Radyo ay hatid sa inyo sa kagandahang loob ni Governor Egay Taliando, 1st District Representative Josie Banning Taliando, 2nd District Representative Marisol Tuts Panotes, Daet Municipal Councilor Maria Eliza Liovit, Chairman Committee on Education, Sangguniang Bayan ng Daet, Engineer Ariel Huevas Caldit of AGC Constructions, Mr. and Mrs. Rainier Morena, Kagawad and Mrs. Larry and Bing Ilaw of Ilaw Japan Surplus and General Merchandise, located in front of main gate of Holiday Home Subdivision, Barangay Lagon, Daet, Camarines Norte. Mr. Edwin Taliando, Mayor Benito B2K Ochoa, former Basud Councilor Ronnie Samonte, Chairman of the Board, Bataan Shipyard and Engineering Company. Also brought to us by Vice Mayor Gina Yapyuko of Mercedes, Elaville Tours, Canoreco Board of Director Marshal Pajares of Vincent's District, Miss Joy Belmonte of Ezra Farm, located at Barangay Calabaga, San Vicente, Liga ng mga Barangay President, Punong Barangay Garico Tauco of Barangay San Roque Mercedes, former Board Member Paul Gatche, Municipal Councilor May Asis Oblabo.
Ito ang kauna-unahang FM radio sa Camarines Norte, 100.5 DWENFM. Cool Radio. Cool Radio. Mas pinalakas. Pinagsamang balita at musika. Hatid ng mga batikan at pinagkakatiwalaang news anchors sa Camarines Norte. 100.5 Cool Radio News FM. 100.5 Cool Radio News FM. Mula noon hanggang ngayon, nasa puso ang paglilingkod. Cool Radio News FM, ang tunay na #1 sa mga Kamnortenyo.
And you are listening to DWEN-FM 100.5 Cool Radio. Our time now is 7 minutes after 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Paaralan sa radyo. Paaralan sa radyo. Paraan para matuto. Paaralan sa radyo. Halina't mag-aral tayo. Paaralan sa radyo. Hatid ng DepEd Camarines Norte sa mga batang Kamnortenyo. Halika na, makinig tayo.
That's a good idea!
Hello, dear listeners, especially to our grade 10 learners. Welcome to another exciting episode of Paaralan sa Radyo, an interactive radio program which provides comprehensive and enjoyable learning experiences in Science 10. We are very happy to be with you this afternoon. After our episode today, you will surely learn well about it. Okay, so let's continue enrich your knowledge in science, dear grade 10 learners. Our lesson for today will center on the discussion about the menstrual cycle. You may interact with our discussion by sharing your ideas and answering questions through the comment box of our Facebook Live. You may also send in your messages through Facebook Messenger or through short messaging services or SMS via mobile phone number 0930-2468-268. Again, it's 0930-2468-268. Alright, so before we start our fun-filled lesson, please make sure that you are comfortable in your study area and free from any distractions. Check if you have your paper with you along with a pen so that you can write the important information and follow our step-by-step discussion and activities. Please put your cell phones in a silent mode so you can concentrate and grasp all the needed information in today's lesson. Are you ready? Great! Let's start! And we are lucky to have with us this day the two of the province's finest teachers.
And we are very much happy that you are here with us to listen and learn more about the topic we're going to discuss. But before we start, I would like first to introduce to you ourselves. I am Ma'am Maria Doris Borja of Porfirio Arponayo High School, together with my partner, a teacher of Camarines Norte National High School. Let me present to you my partner, Ma'am Gracel Ann C. Parungao.
Hello everyone, this is Ma'am Gracel Ann Parungao, your radio teacher for this afternoon. Welcome to our 1-hour discussion about menstrual cycle.
Alright, so they will serve as our resource speaker in this episode for this afternoon. And Teacher Gracel and Ma'am Doris, I am sure that our listeners, especially the grade 10 learners, are now very excited to learn something new today. So let's now begin the discussion. Take it away, Ma'am.
Now I know that you're ready to learn something new today. Let's begin with our main objective of our lesson. First, identify the different phases of the menstrual cycle. And these are the menstrual, follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. Number 2 is explain the process of the menstrual cycle, every woman, and also in their emotional changes. We believe that this lesson will keep you more knowledgeable in taking good care of yourself as you encounter this kind of change.
That's right, ma'am. And to our female learners, if you might experience this monthly period, don't be afraid. This is a normal stage to you girls because menstruation is a start of a major event in a girl's life. Some girls greet those first drops of blood with joy or relief, while others feel confused and scared. Whatever the reaction, don't be scared on the arrival of the first period. It's a proof that you are becoming a woman.
Alright, are you ready to deepen up your knowledge? Let's have some quick review for us to have a good understanding on how the process works. Let's recall the topic we discussed last week. As we learned last time, hormones are involved in the production of sperms in the male and egg cell for the female.
So what is the role of hormone in the menstrual cycle?
As we have mentioned in our discussion during the first week, hormones control many of the changes in the reproductive system, which includes menstruation. All girls generally reach menarche. Okay, may I repeat the word menarche and let me spell it out to you, dear learners. Menarche is spelled as letter M-E-N-A-R-C-H-E, menarche. Now, menarche is the word used to describe the occurrence of the very first menstruation. Now, for a variety of reasons, including better nutrition, girls now usually start to menstruate between the ages of 10 and 16. But menstruation isn't just about having a period. It's a sign that a girl is physically capable of becoming pregnant or ready for reproduction. During the menstrual cycle, hormones are released from different parts of the body to help control and prepare the body for pregnancy. That preparation begins when the ovaries are the two oval-shaped organs that lie to the upper right and left of the uterus or womb. When these two ovaries produce the hormones, estrogen and progesterone. And these hormones trigger certain changes in the lining of the uterus, which is the endometrium.
Wow, so that's how the hormones affect the reproductive system of a female. So let us be familiar with the parts of the female reproductive system. So we have the cervix, uterus, fallopian tube, and the ovary. Allow me to discuss describe what are those different parts of the female reproductive system. First, we have the cervix, which is the narrow opening of the female reproductive organ. Second, we have the uterus, a hollow muscular organ where implantation takes place. Another, we have the fallopian tube or the oviduct. It is a pair of tubes that serves as the passageway of the egg cell from the ovary to the uterus. And we have the ovary, which serve as the storage part of the egg cell.
Okay, with that, ma'am, I think we can now proceed with discussing the different phases of the menstrual cycle. The follicular phase, the ovulation, the luteal phase, and the menstruation. Ma'am Anne, can you please explain to us what is follicular and ovulation phase?
Yes, ma'am. Follicular phase is a time between the first day of the period and the ovulation. During this phase, the level of the estrogen rises as an egg prepares to be released. Then, another hormones from the pituitary gland stimulates the maturation and release of the egg or the ovum from the ovary.
The next phase would be the ovulation.
It occurs in the middle of the cycle and is usually day 14 out of the 28-day cycle. From the ovary, the egg moves into one of the fallopian tubes. The fallopian tube is the two tubes that leads from the ovaries to the uterus. Next is the luteal phase. So can you explain it to us, Ma'am Doris?
Okay. So, the luteal phase occurs after ovulation. Ovulation is when your ovaries release an egg. That happens before your period starts. Now, during this time, the lining of your uterus normally gets thicker to prepare for a possible pregnancy. Remember that if the egg is fertilized by sperm, the fertilized egg will take about 2 to 4 days to travel down the fallopian tube. It will then attach to the thick blood-rich lining of the uterus. However, if the egg will not be fertilized, the next phase will take place, and that is the menstrual phase. Again, it starts when an egg cell is unfertilized. The estrogen and progesterone levels drop, and the uterine lining breaks down, which causes the bleeding, which is commonly known as the period.
Very well said, ma'am. You had learned that menstruation is a monthly change that takes place in the female reproductive system. Since you already know the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle, let us discuss further the importance of hormone to the reproductive system of a female.
Okay, let's start with the pituitary gland. Okay, I know for those who have listened to us during our first episode, we have already made a thorough discussion of this. But let's start with the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is the major endocrine gland, which is responsible for controls and start of the cycle. The pituitary gland releases hormones that cause the egg in the ovary to mature. The luteinizing hormone initiates the maturation of the follicles, converts ruptured follicles into corpus luteum, and causes the secretion of progesterone. The follicle-stimulating hormone assists in the maturation of the follicles and causes the secretion of estrogen from follicles. Meanwhile, the ovary itself releases a hormone called estrogen, which causes the uterine lining to increase in thickness. The uterine lining becomes thicker so that the fertilized egg can attach to it. The ovary releases an egg on day 14. Assume that no sperm is present. The egg will move through the oviduct or the fallopian tube and will enter the uterus.
Okay, so let's continue that. Meanwhile, the uterine lining continues to thicken. The egg has not been fertilized, therefore, it will not attach to the uterus. Neither, the thick uterine lining is no longer necessary, so the cells of the thickened uterine lining break off and leave the vagina. The unfertilized egg is lost and some blood is lost too. So this loss of cells from the uterine lining, blood, and egg is called the menstruation. And after the menstruation, the cycle starts again. Remember, this is a cycle, meaning the 4 phases. We have the menstrual, we have the follicular phase, the ovulation phase, and the luteal phase. So, we have a cycle in which we can start from the menstrual down to the luteal cycle, luteal phase rather.
All right, ma'am. I hope our learners got it well. Now that our learners already know the step-by-step process of the menstrual cycle, let's discuss further the relationship of glands and hormone in this cycle. As we recall a while ago, the menstrual cycle is controlled by the different glands and hormones. It is also controlled by negative and positive feedback mechanisms involving ovarian and pituitary hormones. Ma'am Anne, what is a feedback mechanism?
Ma'am Doris, when we say feedback mechanism, it is a process by which the level of one substance influences the level of another substance. So to deepen it up, we have to recall the flow chart of hormonal actions during the menstrual cycle. There are two key groups of hormones that control and coordinate the menstrual cycle. Do you know what are those, ma'am?
Yes, we have the pituitary hormones, the FSH and the LH, or the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone, that are released from the anterior pituitary gland and act on the ovaries to develop follicles, and the ovarian hormones, which are the estrogen and the progesterone, that are being released from the ovaries and act on the uterus to prepare for pregnancy. So how does it relate on the feedback mechanisms in the menstrual cycle?
In the feedback mechanism in the menstrual cycle, the follicle stimulating hormone, or the FSH, stimulates the ovaries to release estrogen. High levels of estrogen then prevent the further production of the follicle stimulating hormone, or the FSH. The estrogen also stimulates the release of the luteinizing hormone, or the LH, from the pituitary gland, which in turn controls the production of progesterone. High levels of progesterone then inhibit the further release of the luteinizing hormone.
That's great, ma'am. To sum up the topic discussed for today, we have learned that there are 4 phases in the menstrual cycle, and these are the follicular phase, the ovulation, the luteal phase, and the menstruation. We also learned the step-by-step process of how does the menstrual cycle occurs and what are the vital role of the hormones in the ovulation of the egg cell.
Okay, there you have it, dear listeners. Thank you so much, Teacher Doris and Teacher Graciel, for that very informative information about the menstrual cycle. Ayan. So, before we continue with our discussion, we will have this friendly reminder. And don't go away, we will be right back.
Pumapatak na naman ang ulan sa bubong ng bahay.
Aba, Pekto, pakanta-kanta ka lang dyan ah. Natapos mo na ba ang iyong aralin?
Hindi pa po, Nay. Ay, katamad.
Subukan mong makinig sa radyo na nagbibigay programa sa pagtuturo.
Talaga po ba, Nanay? Meron po ba nun? Eh di mas masaya. Mas maiengganyo na akong mag-aral.
Oo, anak. Ang kailangan lang ang pakikiisa sa ibinigay nilang tagubilin. Makinig mabuti at pag-aralan ang aralin.
O sige po, Inay. Maraming salamat po sa iyong payo. Asan na po yung ating radyo?
Isang paalala para sa mga magulang at mag-aaral. Ang SDO Camarines Norte ay naglunsad ng radio-based instruction program upang maging gabay sa pag-aaral ng mga kabataang Kamnorteño. Kaya't halina at laging subaybayan ang Paaralan sa radyo.
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
Anak, mukhang nag-e-enjoy ka sa paglalaro.
Narito po tayo ngayon sa Divine Bakery kasama ang pinagpipitagang si Moises Dalisay. Mang Moy, napaka-espesyal daw po ng dala niyong tinapay.
Dito nakaukit ang mga kautusan ng nutrisyon. Ito ang 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments?
Tungkol sa mga dapat kainin, dapat iwasan at dapat gawin.
Tulad po ng pagpapasuso ng anak?
Korek ka dyan. Kung gusto nating sumigla at lumakas, sundin ang 10 Commandments.
Abangan nyo!
Paalala ng National Nutrition Council ng DOH.
And we're back. Time check lang po tayo. It's 27 minutes after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So before our commercial break, Teacher Doris and Teacher Gracial talk about the menstrual cycle. And this time, dear listeners, they are very much ready to talk about the fact and the myth about the menstrual cycle. Since very interesting ang topic natin ngayon, merong ilang fact and belief na ika-clarify nila sa ating hapon. Are you ready, Ma'am Doris and Ma'am Gracial?
Yes, sir. And I think all our learners for today will relate to this because I believe they are going through this. They are having confusions about this stage. So it is very important that you, my dear learners, are listening to us right now.
Alright, so very excited na rin po akong malaman kung totoo ba yung alam ko mga fact and myth about the menstrual cycle. Teacher Giselle?
Yes. So, during my teenage years, we have these certain beliefs, or until now that we still believe. These are like bawal maligo kapag merong menstruation, bawal kumain ng maasim, or bawal magbuhat ng mabibigat na bagay. So, what can you say about this, Ma'am Doris? Let's start with bawal maligo. We cannot take a bath during our menstruation days.
I think, Ma'am, taking a shower or taking a bath na we need or that will favor the menstrual process sa paliligo is when you take a bath, it enhances blood circulation of your body, which favors the good menstrual flow. So I think it's a myth that we shouldn't take a bath kapag may period tayo. Kasi I also remember that na I was also reminded by my parents when I was having my first periods.
Okay, so actually taking a bath is a proper
a very important
proper hygiene.
Yes, ma'am.
So we need that because 'di ba may mga bacteria tayo sa katawan, and to avoid na magkasakit tayo, we need to be maintain cleanliness in our body.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
to properly take care of our body, and especially our reproductive organs. Okay. So next is bawal kumain ng maasim. Is it true?
I think, ma'am, wala siya talagang specific effect sa menstruation, but ang alam ko, the more na you are having your periods, the more you should eat nutritious foods such as itong mga fruits na medyo maasim. These are rich in vitamin C, which is a very essential nutrient in our body. And remember, may yung menstrual discharge ninyo, may mga blood clots talaga because it contains the mucus from disintegrated uterine lining. Yung mga mucus na nag-break away sa endometrial lining, it goes out with the blood. So it's very normal na makikita ninyo. You don't have to worry about it if ever na nakita nyo ang mayroong mga blood clots sa menstrual discharge ninyo. That is very normal, my dear learners.
Okay, ma'am. So our third fact or myth is magbuhat ng mabibigat na bagay. Hindi ba natin kailangan ba nating iwasan yung pagbubuhat ng mabibigat na bagay during our menstruation?
Siguro kahit wala tayong menstruation, ma'am, dapat siguro we should limit ourselves lang din sa pagbubuhat ng kasi tatansyahin din natin yung capacity natin, di ba po? May mens o wala, hindi tayo dapat nagbubuhat ng mga, but somehow siguro it affects the kasi the more na nag-exert ka ng force, mas may effect, pero hindi naman siguro ganun po kasama yung effect.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for that.
Alright, and there you have it, dear listeners. Ayan yung mga fact and myth na na-discuss ni Teacher Doris at saka ni Teacher Graciel this afternoon. So pakitandaan lang po na walang kinalaman yung paliligo once you have the menstrual cycle. hindi kayo magiging, sabi nila noon ay naluluka-luka or naluluki-luki.
Correct,
So Teacher Doris explained about it well. And of course, you have to eat more nutritious food.
Yes po.
Kesa hindi kayo kumain ng mga maaasim. Ayan. So, since vitamin C siya, di ba, Teacher Doris?
Yes
mas
po, sir.
healthy po siya sa katawan. Okay. So, since as I have said na very interesting ang topic natin ngayong hapon, medyo marami-rami po tayong questions na babasahin dito sa ating text line. But before that, again, we will have this short friendly reminder, and as we return, we will read those questions coming from our listeners. So, dyan lamang po kayo, magbabalik po kami.
Pumapatak na naman ang ulan sa bubong ng bahay.
Aba, Pekto, pakanta-kanta ka lang dyan Natapos mo na ba ang iyong aralin?
Hindi pa po, Nay. Ay, katamad.
Subukan mong makinig sa radyo na nagbibigay programa sa pagtuturo.
Talaga po ba, Nanay? Meron po ba nun? Di mas masaya. Mas maiengganyo na akong mag-aral.
Oo, anak. Ang kailangan lang ang pakikiisa sa ibinigay nilang tagubilin. Makinig mabuti at pag-aralan ang aralin.
O sige po, Inay. Maraming salamat po sa iyong payo. Asan na po yung ating radyo?
Isang paalala para sa mga magulang at mag-aaral. Ang SDO Camarines Norte ay naglunsad ng radio-based instruction program upang maging gabay sa pag-aaral ng mga kabataang Kamnorteño. Kaya't halina at laging subaybayan ang Paaralan sa radyo.
And we're back, dear listeners. Once again, good afternoon. It is now 2:35 in the afternoon. And before the break, I promised everyone to read the questions sent to us by our listeners. And we will have it this time. So, are you ready, Teacher Doris and Teacher Gracel?
Get it on, sir!
Ayan! So, ready na sila. Napaka-galing talaga ng ating speakers for this afternoon. Let's have this first question, Teacher Doris and Teacher Grayson. This one is from Nisel Shane. Question number 1, sabi dito, she's asking, does the schedule of menstrual cycle period vary? Again po, she's asking, does the schedule of menstrual cycle period vary?
Definitely. Nag-iiba siya kasi come to think of it that we have 30 days in 1 month and the menstrual cycle is 28 days only. So don't expect na if you have your period this month on the 15th, you will have it also on the 15th. No, you will always have to count 1 to 28. So 28 day cycle lang. Kaya mag-iiba-iba ang dating ng period monthly. So you will notice na nag-a-adjust siya every month.
And yes, ma'am. So minsan yung ina-expect din natin from 28 days, nagiging 30 days. Pero, i-expect din natin na normal din yun sa katawan or normal yun sa female reproductive system natin that we have or nag-exceed tayo from 28 day cycle magiging 30 or medyo nagle-less ng 2 days because somehow nakaka-apekto yung mga kinakain natin and then yung pag-release ng hormone natin. Remember that hormones are being released by our pituitary gland and thus affect the menstrual cycle.
Okay, there you have it, Nisel Shane. Pakitandaan mo lang, sabi ni Teacher Doris at Teacher Gracel, nag-iiba siya. Sana hindi all. Ano? Ayan. Okay. So, meron pa tayong susunod na 3-4 na questions pa dito, Teacher Doris and Teacher Gracel. The second question is from Joy. Sabi niya dito, does the pain during menstrual cycle is normal? How is it different from having a dysmenorrhea? Ayan, Teacher Doris and Teacher Gracel. Again, sabi dito, does the pain during menstrual cycle is normal? How is it different from having a dysmenorrhea?
Okay, having a dysmenorrhea is a normal to some, and yung iba kasi nakakaranas talaga ng matinding dysmenorrhea. Yung iba naman is not. Merong talagang hindi sila nakakabangon for one day during their first day of period. Doon nila mas nararamdaman yung dysmenorrhea or yung pagsasakit ng puson. Or yung pag sinabi natin dysmenorrhea, hindi lang yung pagsakit ng puson, minsan may kasamang parang nasusuka, nahihilo, or parang nalalanta yung katawan mo. So, it is normal. However, kapag yung pain natin is more, yung alam mong hindi mo na kaya, yun yung kailangan nating bantayan. Kasi
that could be a sign of another problem.
Yes.
Pwede. If talagang yung pain is excruciating na, talagang, kasi tayo, sa bagay, may kanya-kanya tayong pain tolerance. Pero, alam mo naman yung pain na kaya mo pa at hindi. At pag yung pain talaga ay hindi mo na ma-tolerate, that's something to be alarmed of, I think. So, in that cases, siguro we need to
consult.
Yeah.
To consult doctor.
But dun sa mga normal pain, siguro we can do warm compress.
Yes.
It will help a lot kasi the pain results from the abdominal cramps due to protrusion of the uterus. May yung pananakit ng puson nga, 'di ba? Medyo malaki yung puson natin, namamaga si uterus. So warm compress can help a lot. So mas maganda kapag nag-warm compress ka, medyo maganda mas mabilis yung process, napapaganda yung circulation, and mas mabilis yung disintegration ng mucus and blood sa uterus, sa uterine lining, and somehow nalilesen yung swelling.
Okay, so Joy, I hope that you've listened to the discussion or to the explanation of Teacher Doris and Teacher Grazel. And I'd like to quote lang some doon sa important things na sinabi nila. Sabi ni Teacher Grazel, the pain is just normal. And according to Teacher Doris naman, since it's normal, pero pag di mo na daw kaya, iwan mo na. Joke lang. Hindi ganon. So pag di mo na kaya, it's time to consult for a professional health. Di ba, Teacher Doris?
Yes,
Tama
po,
ba?
sir. Definitely.
Okay, so we still have another question. Oy, lalaki naman ito, Teacher Doris and Teacher Grace. So, napaka-curious ni sir. Okay, this one is from Mark. Sabi dito, are all women experience mood swings during menstrual cycle? How could a boy handle it or adjust to it? Ayan. Again, are all women experience mood swings during menstrual cycle? How could a boy adjust to it? Teacher Doris?
We have mentioned this already during our first episode, that mood swings are a normal part of the premenstrual syndrome. Ma'am Anne.
Yes, ma'am. And not only during menstrual period or our menstruation, we also experience mood swing before or 5 days before, or nagkakaroon tayo ng mga cravings, which is normal. So yung mood swings kasi nakaka-apekto doon is yung hormone, yung na-mention ni Ma'am Doris, and also syempre kapag may nararamdaman tayong pain, yung ating mood is talagang nagbabago. Aside from dun sa hormone. Yes, Ma'am Doris?
Opo. And the sudden, sabi nga ni Ma'am Ann kanina, before pa lang ng menstruation, nakakaramdam na ng mood swings, because during menstruation ando na yung activities ng mga hormones sa reproductive system ng babae, and this sudden change in the hormonal level of girls really change their moods. Nagiging mas irritable sila. Kaya sabi ko, 'di ba, last time, boys, you should understand this. You should understand the saltik of the girls. Because legit yun.
Yes. And also, for the boys to be patient with the girls, and also they should also know the first aid or ano ba yung mga dapat gawin kapag may menstruation yung partner nila o yung girls, para makatulong sila na medyo malesen yung pain na nararamdaman ng girls. Ano po?
Po.
Alright, so there you have it, brother. Isa lang masasabi ko dyan. Patience is the virtue. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions to go. Teacher Doris and Teacher Grazel. Let's have this another one from a boy listener. Sabi dito, does the temperature or the weather affects the menstrual cycle? Totoo po ba ito? Yes. The temperature daw or the weather affects the menstrual cycle.
Basically kasi sir, temperature really affects our body. When it's cold, the effect is vasoconstriction, nagko-constrict yung mga veins. And when it's hotter, nagda-dilate siya, mas mabuka. So, when it's colder, medyo siguro kasi nga yung mga blood supply sa uterus, since nag-constrict siya, medyo maano ang menstrual flow na apektuhan, bumabagal siguro. And the more na bumabagal, hindi na maayos ang flow, mas masakit 'yon sa ng mga ang abdominal cramps, may mga ganun, mas nagkakaroon ng tummy pains kapag mas malamig ang panahon. So that's true, sir.
Okay, so remember that temperature affects the circulation of the blood in our body. Yun siguro dun sa part na yun, but it doesn't affect the menstrual cycle itself, yung process, I mean yung 4 phases that in the hindi siya ganun nakaka-apekto dun sa 4 phases natin. Andun pa rin yung, I mean, hindi siya nababago.
Sa flow lang siguro.
Sa flow lang, sa circulation lang, nakaka-apekto yung temperature. Flow ng blood,
the blood flow.
The blood flow.
Ayan, so Anthony, pakitandaan mo lang yung mga sinabi ni Teacher Doris at Teacher Grazel this afternoon, And there you have it, dear listeners, for the first batch of our text messages and the questions. We will have the 4 remaining questions after this friendly reminder. Don't go away, we will be right back.
Welcome to Mobile Legends!
Anak, mukhang nag-e-enjoy ka sa paglalaro mo Tapos mo na ba ang iyong module?
Hindi pa po, inay. Mamaya na lang po.
Alam mo bang ang pagpapaliban ng gawain ay nagiging sanhi upang hindi mo ito magawa ng maayos o tuloy di mo na ito matapos?
Okay po, inay. Pero, pwede mo po ba akong turuang ulit?
Oo naman, anak. Kahit anong subject pa yan, kakayanin natin.
Paalala sa mga magulang, mahalaga ang inyong wastong paggabay sa bawat aralin. Pag-ukulan ng panahon upang lubusang maunawaan ng ating mga anak.
And we're back. Time check. It's 2:46 in the afternoon. Ayan, during the commercial break, we're talking about the different questions here sent to us by our listeners. And Teacher Doris and Teacher Grazel, we still have 4 questions to go. And this 5th question is from Joanne. She's asking here, is it true that the average age for periods has changed over time? Again, is it true that the average age for periods has changed over time? Teacher Doris?
Sa tingin ko, sir, yes. Kasi may nabasa ako na during the 1800s, girls used to have their periods at the age of 17. But now, the average age, as you have mentioned in your discussion, ma'am, it's between 10 to 16 years old na ang average age ng occurrence ng menstrual cycle. Maybe because of the changes in the lifestyle, yung mga kinakain, yung nutrition ngayon is different from the nutrition ng mga tao noon. So maybe it's the determining factor kung bakit nagkaroon ng changes sa average age ng occurrence ng menstrual cycle.
Yes po, it does affect the nutrition, yung mga kinakain natin or yung lifestyle natin. It does affect yung pag-mature ng body natin or yung pag-growth ng body natin na piniprepare yung katawan natin for the menstrual cycle for us women. Ano po?
Saka sabi daw kasi the more na medyo mataba yata, medyo may fats ang babae kasi yung fats daw it also aids in the secretion of estrogen. Kaya pag medyo malusog ang babae, medyo mas maaga ang ano ng occurrence ng period niya.
All right, so Joanne, take note of that. It's true. Okay, so let's move on. Sana nakaka-move on lahat. With this next question, very curious siya. From a boy listener named Alan. Gusto ko rin tong itanong sa'yo, Teacher Doris, kanina pa. Sabi dito, can a boy get a period?
Can a boy get a period? Sa palagay niya, dear learners, anong sagot? Definitely not. Kasi the boys doesn't have a uterus. They don't have ovaries. Although, the boys also have the follicle stimulating hormone, the luteinizing hormone, as we have discussed during our first episode. But the reproductive organs are different. The boys have the testes, which is only for the production of the sperm, and the girls has the ovaries that are the culprit for the occurrence of the menstruation.
Also, if you still, kung nakikinig kayo dun sa mga balita or if you had read na merong mga nagpapa-transplant para mag-menstruate or para ma-pregnant sila, hindi siya pwede na mag-menstruate ang lalaki. Kahit magpa-transplant siya, kailangan ng complete set nung female reproductive organ. Especially ovary because yung egg cell is nandun. Doon nag-i-start yung process ng menstrual cycle. So, yung question na yun is definitely no kasi they don't have the different parts of the female reproductive organ. Even having a transplant, alam ko parang nabasa ko lately na may mga ilan nagsusubok na magpa-transplant but they cannot have the same function, the same nung function nung sa female reproductive organs or reproductive system.
Okay, so Alan, remember that that is a well explained that the answer is no. Okay, let's move in with this next question. This is from Thalia. She's asking, which exercise is best during period?
Exercise. So, I think in choosing the exercise routine when you're having your period, siguro you should just choose those exercises that are not too extraneous, that will not require much movement, because you also have to consider the menstrual flow na nagkakos ng discomfort. But definitely, exercise is not prohibited during menstruation. It is also an important help during menstrual period. Exercise can also help enhance blood circulation in the body. So, you can take your exercise, but you should choose the exercise routine that you're going to do.
Okay, so thank you so much, Teacher Doris, for that explanation. And last question from Alexa. What are the do's and don'ts during menstrual cycle? Do's and don'ts daw po. Parang humihingi siya ng tips.
For the those mga dapat nating gawin, during our menstruation, we need to eat healthy, nutritious food, and then we need to take a rest. We need to maintain our proper hygiene for us to be healthy, For the don't, siguro medyo iwasan na lang natin or i-less natin yung mga extreme activities para hindi masyadong, lalo na kapag nagdi-dysmenorrhea, hindi siya ganon kasakit or malesen yung pain. Kasi kung maggagawa pa tayo mga extreme activities, makaka-apekto yun sa atin. Yung pain kasi natin. Yes, ma'am?
Opo, tama ma'am. So, siguro, wala naman, as far as I know, wala naman masyadong inhibition kasi as for me, ako sa personal experience ko, my menstrual process doesn't affect my activities much. Especially kapag adult ka na and you're a mom. So, you really have to beat the odds of the period. So, it doesn't affect me much. Siguro, just let's kumbaga mga teeners natin, let's embrace the change and that's it.
Ay add ko pala yung diet natin lalo na sa female kasi yung katulad na mention mo kanina yung pagiging medyo chubby, medyo nakaka-apekto rin kasi 'di ba minsan yung mga sa PCOS, ma'am, kung yung depende kasi yun sa mga kinakain natin, naaapektuhan yung ating reproductive system din sa base sa mga kinakain natin.
Really, yeah. It's important that we had a good and balanced diet lalo na pag teener ka kasi ako may mga nakita na akong may kilala, may learner ako na she was asking me, "Ma'am, bakit po ako," secretly tinanong niya ako, "Ma'am, bakit po ako hanggang ngayon wala pa akong period?" How old are you na ba? 18 po, magna 19 na. At kung titingnan mo siya talaga, maliit siya for her age. And sabi ko na, alam mo, palagay ko you need to check it with a doctor na kasi the doctor is the only person that can help you with that kasi palagay ko yung sa nutrition talaga nakaka-apektong masyado sa sa development ng teenagers. So importante na our teeners, especially the girls, are having a good diet.
Okay, lalo na ma'am yung generation ngayon more on sa radiation, nakaka-apekto yung lifestyle nila, yung oras ng pagtulog.
Tapos yung yung mga na sila, mga late, tawag dito? Late na natutulog. Yun na yun. Late na natutulog. And tapos they are more onto foods na mga comfort foods, fries, which doesn't help much in our body. O yung mga comfort foods natin ngayon. So we have to be cautious of that.
All right, dear listeners, there you have it for the question and answer portion of our program this afternoon. Okay, so before we end this discussion, Teacher Doris and Teacher Gracial, any parting word to our listeners?
Before we end this, I would like first to I would like to take this opportunity to greet all my PRPHS students, all the Porphyrians sa school namin. They are listening right now. Good afternoon, and to my school head, Sir Ronnie, good afternoon po. To Sir Noel, sir, good afternoon. And Ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon to my Camarines Norte National High School family, my grade 10 students, lahat ng nag-aaral or learners from CNNHS, including our principal, Ma Melisha Mendoza, and our assistant principal, Sir Dante Toledo. Hello po.
Ay, baka magtampo yung baby ko. Hi, baby Adi! Okay, ma'am.
So, I hope our students learn and understand our informations that we shared with you, and also that you had fun and develop a better or deeper understanding of what we have discussed this afternoon. So you may read your books or learning activity sheets to further understand the topic. So study hard and do not forget to pray. Until the next lesson here in the School on the Air, This is Ma'am Grazel Ansi Parungaw.
And I am Ma'am Maria Doris Oborha, and we are your radio teacher for this afternoon. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so Teacher Doris and Teacher Grazel, thank you so much for that wonderful discussion. I am sure that our grade 10 students learned so much from you about this menstrual cycle topic, and they are now very much ready to answer the tasks given by their subject teachers with regards to this topic. Good luck, students! I know you can do it. And this is the end of our Paaralan sa Radyo episode for today. Thank you for spending your time with us as we continue to deliver relevant and quality education under the Learning Continuity Plan of the Department of Education. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot in today's episode. Once again, this is Teacher Richard, your host for Paaralan sa Radyo program. Be safe and have a fruitful day ahead. Until next time.
Paaralan sa Radyo. Paaralan sa Radyo. Paraan para matuto. Paaralan sa Radyo. Halina't mag-aral tayo. Paaralan sa Radyo. Hatid